Well, you have Ratlanta in shambles. Young Thug has a lot to say. Um, Fannie Willis might be the ultimate chess player in all this. Was it worth getting confiscated property back? And is Rico still on the table as far as the feds? Let's talk about this. For people who claim to be so in the know, so they want ahead. They think they're moving on a god level, and they're goated because they have a following and a fan base that loves them and support them very dearly. But maybe we're too enamored with false idols. Maybe we get caught up as fans and we just want to gravitate to anyone that's able to touch our souls musically and transform that into a spiritual embodiment that wakes us up and gets us enthusiastically involved with these people's lives and everything they do, from laundry to picking up a newspaper to their grabbing their favorite coffee to dropping off their kid at the daycare center. We're involved, we're in tune with that. Is it too much? Yes. But human behavior is one that just seems to be something that we're always going to be intrigued with and fascinated with. Us as, supporters and fans of these individuals, whoever your favorite artist is, your entertainer, movie star, author, military officer, whoever your heroes are, could be the president. Are we doing a disservice to society? Are we setting a bad trend because of our enthusiasm and our exuberance when we see our favorite hero and star? You know what I mean? Because we follow them so much, we protect them so much, we want to hold them in this highest, platform as we can. And it almost become a sort of subculture that develops in a religion, if I can't say that, excuse my candor, that develops when it comes to your favorite artist. We all get caught up in it. And is it bad? No. Is it always healthy? Absolutely not. And that's when the mental comes in. And we have to know and respect barriers. We have to draw the line. We have to have boundaries that, for safety purposes. It can't get caught up in where we're camping out on people's properties and just to get a photo shoot. And you know how crazy it gets in Hollywood and got, of course, the Epstein investigations, uh, the Catholic Church that had their accusations and their trials and tribulations, and also some outstanding lawsuits. So when you're dealing with the world and all its beauty and all its faults and flawed pitfalls and stuff, you have to move and navigate and also take heed and remember your civic duty, as opposed to how you treat your fellow citizen out here. You know what I'm saying? But we have people that look to prey on people, to take advantage of people who are not as astute, street smart, or just people who are very willing to and open to their fellow men, and then they get caught up in a unthinkable criminal situation. They get victimized and traumatized, and that's the ugliness of it. And that, to how can we avoid or educate? We got to continue to educate people on staying vigilant when it comes to when you go out, when you're moving about in your neighborhoods, when you're moving about in your buildings, and you're moving about on your property, and you're traveling. We have to stay on our toes, and again, we have to keep our head on the swivel and understand and recognize the threat or potential threats, outside the home and inside the home. So it's a marriage. It goes hand in hand, that you have to, it's the way it is. We just have to be astute and, not be a victim. And it's hard work. It's a steady diet of the realization that you want to trust people, but you ultimately have to be careful and have your guard up too. And that's the mission. You want to get home at night. You want to be safe. You want to get to your destination, but in the midst of getting to that, you want to navigate as carefully as possible and stay alert. Be aware of your environment and your situation. So, what the President Trump is doing with DC takeover, and then he's talking the possibility of going to Chicago and other cities. This will happen. On what scale it'll happen, we don't know. I know the Chicago mayor has been very defiant on, his pushback on the president deploying the National Guard. He's enacted several, executive orders, reinforcing the limitations that the president can have over Chicago citizens in the city of Chicago. But we'll see. Usually federal supersedes local. But but this is what a lot of the voters voted for, and this is what the president wants to do. It's easy for DC because it's already a federal city anyway, so it's easy to put the clamps on them. This will be interesting going forward, but how much, the court will allow the president, and how much power does he really have? Uh, will he just, trample Chicagoans' rights? You know, uh, or will he work with the local government? I don't know. I don't know if he will, based on them being Democrats. And he's going in Democratic cities, so we have that. But people should just, look, take it from me down here. Look, you just got to go about your day. You know what I'm saying? So I stay away from the city because it's just, I see random people getting locked up, and for whatever reason it is, it just seems like it's just a hassle for me. And I haven't really, it's an inconvenience because it's like, like going into the city, and especially around this time of year. And especially with the clubs they have down there and the restaurants and, just the lifestyle. You know what I mean? So, but I've done alternative movements, that I don't have to worry about checkpoints and getting out the car and all that being inconvenient. So I might have not have my paperwork, but make sure when you go out anyway to have your paperwork, your registration is straight, everything is straight on your car, you're legal, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But especially in the DMV, you just never know. But they're looking for, they're obviously looking for people that's undocumented and and they have a protocol on how they treat in that situation. And then you have teenagers that might have broke, they're over curfew. They broke the curfew. They're probably getting apprehended and, detained. And you also have, I guess, disorderly conduct, regular people being, inebriated or whatever, protesting a little bit too aggressively towards the cops. So you have all that going on. There's just a lot going on, as it is in any city. It's just intensified now because you got a lot of protesters. They're yelling at the cops. You have these long, I wouldn't say long, but these organized checkpoints. They're they're gonna try to get away with anything they can. I don't know how far their rights go, but they can open. I saw one person open up his trunk, and I don't know what that was about. I'm like, yo, why do I gotta open up my trunk? Is that the routine? That's where it get gray. Because it's not really gray. It's just that's the trample part. They're just the authority. I mean, they can just under their eyes. They got the president backing them. The president said, don't get in their face. Don't they give them the carte blanche to take you to the ground. You don't want to go down to the ground. So you want to, if you have legal questions, you can ask that. I think as a citizen, as long as you're asking reasonable questions or whatever. But that's why I hate it. I don't want to go through all that, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to move freely about. You don't want to go through all that. But I get it. They're trying to get the crime and everything. They're trying to get that taken care of, and that's what they're there for. At least that's what they say. So, but you're not gonna catch me in the city until that. Maybe his 30 days is up. I don't know if he's trying to apply for an extended time. I think an extra 90 days. I don't know if they're gonna let him fly with that. But I'm sure the courts and everybody will make their arguments as they normally do and litigate what he can do and what he cannot do. But will he respect it? Trump say, hey, I'm the president. I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's how he rolling right now. I ain't mad at him. He got it. But it's crazy, man. But we're gonna keep moving. Everybody gonna keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Just it ain't the end of the world. It's for the crime. It's for the crime. I keep remembering it's for the crime. It's for the crime. ISIS, undocumented. It's everything rolled up in one, man. It is what it is. You can be angry. You can protest, but you got to be careful because some of these people, like I said, they have no badge numbers. They just got like a Gestapo out there. You know what I'm saying? So don't get unhinged, man. Don't trick yourself off the streets, man. You know what I mean? You can write your congressman, I guess, or you can, however you want to, take a long walk, listen to some music, run, whatever you got to do to get the anxiety to a level where you can manage without it being so heavy. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. That's my time, man. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm still at work. I'm still working, man. I'm gonna pull through the night. I'm gonna work all nighter and just keep giving you things that's on my mind, content, man. Maybe someone can take it and contemplate their next move. Anyway, peace. One.